So we got primaries. This has had to do with the Missouri primary. So we have primary day for Republicans, Missouri, Arizona, Kansas, Michigan, Washington, a bunch of different states. And everybody's got their thing going on. We all knew that at some point there was going to be a Trump endorsement because he gets out and he's been endorsing in a number of these different races, right? So we knew that was going to, at some point it was going to happen. And it was getting really close to the line because today is voting day. Today is, everybody's going to the polls. So it's a little, I just thought that there would have been some more movement there in Missouri. So anyway, POTUS, the big day came yesterday, and lo and behold, there was an endorsement made. Not really, actually, there wasn't an endorsement made. This is what Trump said about Missouri. I'm going to read his statement. There is a big election in the great state of Missouri, and we must send a MAGA champion and true warrior to the U.S. Senate. Someone who will fight for border security, election integrity, our military, and great veterans, together with having a powerful toughness on crime and the border. We need a person who will not back down to the radical left lunatics already destroying our country. I trust the great people of Missouri on this one. I'll repeat that. I trust the great people of Missouri on this one to make up their own minds, as they did when they gave me landslide victories in the 2016 and 2020 elections. And I am therefore proud to announce that Eric, in caps lock, has my complete and total endorsement. Is that Eric Schmidt who's leading all of the polls right now? Because there's 3 Erics in the race. The other guy, I don't even know what the heck the third Eric, I don't even know what the third Eric's last name is. He's like way down there.
Elroy, isn't it?
I don't know. Like Elroy Jetson? I don't know. He might be a nice guy. I don't know. I'm not making fun of him or anything. I just don't know the guy. So Eric Schmidt is leading all of the polls. The latest one, the Trafalgar poll, that's actually the only polling firm that has been right consistently the last 3 elections. They were singularly the only polling firm that said Trump was going to win 2016 too. So and they're rated number 2. 538 had a thing on them. They are like the most accurate. So they show Schmidt with like a plus 12, plus 13 lead ahead of the other Eric Greitens. I still don't know. And it's not going to be like a priority. But anyway, so he comes out and says this, and I was laughing. You guys know where I stand. I've told you I like Eric Schmidt just because I like his record. And I don't like Eric Greitens because he's a gun grabber. I mean, you don't have to get mad. I'm just telling you what the facts of the matter are. This is a guy who is a Soros-linked World Economic Forum adjacent dude. He's associated with all of this. He's done all of these different events with these cats. I mean, this is not anything that, I have a million receipts if you would like to see any or all of them, because I've written about all of it. And as I said, we moved to Texas in 2013. I was born and raised in Missouri. All my family's still there. So, I've kept up with everything. And when I left, Greitens was still a Democrat. He was a hardcore Democrat. When we were in the streets doing all kinds of grassroots stuff, he was out there doing hardcore Democrat stuff. So I know that because there have been a lot of like, I just think it's funny because I've heard from people, and these are people that I've seen at different fundraisers at like pro-life stuff or this or that, where they've been down at Mar-a-Lago and they're like, oh my gosh, who is that one Missouri guy? This is what I hear. And I'm like, who are you talking about? We're like, oh my gosh, he's the crazy eye one. I'm like, oh my gosh, Greitens? He's down there all the time at events that we don't even know he's gotten invitations to, trying so hard to get an endorsement. I've heard this from more people than I can count. So can I just be very straightforward with you? First off, the thing that he's been trying to push is that he is the outsider. I don't know how he can be the outsider. He says that anybody criticizing him is the rhino. He's Soros linked. He was recruited by the DCCC. That's the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee. The Soros link comes by way of National File, who made note that he had done stuff with big tech and the World Economic Foundation and Bill Gates. He absolutely has done all this stuff. There's all kinds of interviews that he's done with it. He was a beneficiary of a Silicon Valley cash during his campaign. He got a big tech org that pumped a lot of money in one of his previous campaigns. There's all kinds of receipts if you want to look at it. He described himself as a lifelong Democrat, and he worked with the Aspen Institute also. So I just don't think that somebody who has done all of that and also was the only Republican to establish a gun-free zone in the state of Missouri gets to call anybody else a rhino. So let's put that to bed right now. I'm not going to get into all of his personal stuff. I know that he is in a huge fight with his ex-wife, and there's all kinds of stuff coming out, about, the custody and all this. I know that while his surrogates like to try to attack me and try to make up rumors about my marriage, as one of them was doing apparently before I unmasked him and threatened to let his tax-exempt, nonpartisan institute, because it was, you're not supposed to do that campaign work when you work for an entity like that. Until that came out, then they had stopped because that is just silly. I just think I'm not going to get into personal stuff like he does. I will just say this. If you can't take care of your own family, don't expect to take care of voters' families.